What do you think was the key to the rapid growth for ClickView or for ClickTech? What if you think?
Damn good technology. Basically, it was totally. We got very good programmers, and what we did was, much faster and much better than everything on the market.
Yes.
And it's amazing still now. We're 25 years down the line, and still people consider Click to be, modern technology.
And but you were the CAO.
Yep.
Was that a fight?
Not really.
No.
No.
How did you come up with
I said I will be the CEO.
That sounds simple. Yes.
Very simple.
Yeah. And the vision was to do what? The vision that you had from the start that led you to lead this company 7 years of growth. What was the vision?
Well, we knew we had this idea about the user interface. People should be able to do more, empowerment, improve quality, and because I came from big companies and they always had the problem of informing people, and that the people could actually search for the information themselves in a safe and easy to understand way. So we knew exactly that this was worth a lot of money for big companies. And so we had this idea, and we already started. So we knew there were so many good things we could add, and we also knew that for every year the computers will be faster, with more memory. So we knew that we could constantly move our marketing to new areas.
Right.
And then of course came the internet, and then we realized maybe we should start to...
Yes, so everybody, this was before the internet.
This was, our first version was a Windows program.
When I then stumbled on TAT, a 45 people company had quite a good growth up until then, based on 6 founders, great ideas, great people, building it very nicely. It was a very, very well managed company that I met and fell completely in love with. It smelled very much like Access. There was so many good things that I had, when you recognize, this is something.
How did you stumble on them? Did they recruit you, or
no, not at all. I recruited myself.
Tell me about that.
As it happened, I was on the jury of Rapidus, Årets Företag. It's a company of the year at Rapidus, the newsletter. I was on the jury of finding who was supposed to get the reward. And TAT was on the short list. I ended up being the one who got to dive a little bit deeper into. That's the way the jury works. You put up a short list and then you divide. So you go dig there. Ludo, who was the CEO at the time, we met just socially. Let's have lunch because you won the reward, and it would be nice to just hear more. And he spent the entire lunch meeting that we had complaining about how boring it was to be the CEO of that company. He wanted to go into the visionary things, product development, and look at the long-term horizon. And there he was stuck with staff matters, setting up a subsidiary in Korea, and all sorts of boring stuff. So I took a deep breath and I said, well, if you don't want to do that, I can do it. It sounds like I was very cocky, and I felt very cocky at the time as well, but I was scared shitless. Don't have any other idea. I was scared shitless and was really... I still remember exactly the meeting room. And he said, yeah, maybe that's a good idea.
But I think we can learn 2 things. Never say no to a jury assignment, okay? And ask for what you want, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's a good lesson.
Worst thing that could happen was he threw me out, but he didn't. So and then I got
lucky
to know
for
the
him,
founders.
you should say.
So that was good. Some of them, it was very important to feel that they could walk away and TAT would still
be alive
and doing well, and they could walk away maybe for a while, then come back again, and it would still be there and still be a good place to work.
And there was never a question about how big should we become? Is there a roof or
no? I
the sky is the limit. That was always the way.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we were going for international. I mean, I've always been sort of an inventor at the same time, not an entrepreneur. I always work with patented solutions, you know, with a lot of technical, IP and stuff like that. So, and we had that. I mean, we had the patents on the original database engine, and we had patents. So, and we also had this. So we had a core business that we owned, and because of that, we could move into United States, and we tried to move all around the world to Germany. I mean, so we always set up. I mean, I was working with Tetra Pak and Astra. They were global companies.
Yeah.
I didn't have a clue about anything but global companies.
No.
So that was natural to me, and
maybe that mindset also came into your company. I mean, that you always had the mindset of becoming big.
Yeah,
that was never
a question. International. I mean, of course, Sweden is a very small market. I mean, we are 10 million. It's nothing. I always envy the American companies. We have a home market of 300 million, which of course is much more practical than having just 10. And but software is fairly easy to move around. I mean, you don't have to have all those different regulations around them, and they're easy to move. Translations. We were very early in Germany, so we had to translate everything to German, from the Windows interface to the training material to the books. So you very rapidly sort of have to have a lot of different things in the company, although you're just 15 or 20 people. You have to look like you were Microsoft, more or less. I mean, actually we were putting things out, an ordinary Windows product, and people were used to Microsoft, and we had to be up there. I mean, we had 300 or 400 pages manual.
But you make it sound so easy that like everything was in place and you were never even nervous about this.
No.
Is that? But that might be a key success factor. That you actually knew, you had this mindset that you knew we were going to build a big company.
I think everybody had this mind because we knew what problem we were solving.
And then
I think everybody believed in that this can be as big as we make it.
Yeah.
I think we could feel that because we knew that what we were actually doing, and the response of our users was so positive.
Good.
Everybody loved us, and then when they saw the product, they were very enthusiastic about it. So I think that positive feedback from our users. I mean, we actually had in-house training, and they came to sit around within our location here at ideon, and so we had this room where we were teaching people, so even the users could, even the developers could see how happy users were, enthusiastic they were, and in many cases we actually took some developers out to visit customers that were happy to see their product, and I think that. So everybody understood that this is something big. This can be big.
You could feel it when you met them.
We could feel that, so we had this vision that there's nothing that really can stop us. Maybe someone is doing the same, but we have our patents.
Yeah.
And without those patents, we felt fairly sure that they couldn't do anything that was as smart and fast as what we had done.
This is hard. It's tough to grow, and it hurts to grow. The customers are asking so many things of us, so we have to hire people in order to satisfy that. But it's painful as well. Not that they didn't enjoy themselves, but in a way it was more of a pain than it was. Definitely not a purpose on its own to grow as a company in that sense. But it was. And I found it very interesting to come to them with 45 people, and it's like, oh, this is a small, easy company.
For you, that was small.
For me, it was small.
Yeah.
I don't know the really big corps like Staffan do. I have no idea how they work. I absolutely don't. But 10 times of what TAT was. That was my back. So
you also came with that mindset.
The mindset was there, and that was what I smelled at TAT as well. That there was that potential of growing. And if I said that one part of the task was as I said, to make the founders redundant, another part of the task was to encourage and to give the courage in order to grow.
Yeah.
Because to me it was, manageable. Growth was not as dangerous because I'd seen it happening. What do you need to do? How do you manage growth? How do you take the steps, etc., etc. That was familiar grounds, which was a benefit.
Take ClickView, I mean, it took 17 years before we went to the public.
Yeah.
17 years, that's a long waiting time, right?
Yeah.
We thought it should take 3 or 4, it took 17. And, but still, it was,
And I think
that
we heard,
went very well.
yeah, we heard that with Jon, who is also here, last time we had a sharp mind session, endurance. You need to believe and work hard for a very long time to make a success.
Yeah, and if you're doing something that we're doing, more like a product, the product must be good enough so it lasts for 25 years by itself. And
so detach yourself from the
the invention must be very good in an area that you still think you can be competitive 20, 25 years down the line. And for me, that's important, because if you don't have that time span, you will not build a big company. I'm so happy that ClickView is still around here, with a couple of hundred people all in Lund already, and I think a couple of thousand all over the world.
Yeah.
And I think same thing goes for Axis. I mean, and in order to do that, you must have a vision. I think you did that with the cameras.
Yes.
That was, way before they had 6 million cameras in the United Kingdom alone. They saw that thing coming, and we saw that with this graphical interface, you could suddenly start to have people looking for more complex information themselves. And having that idea, and that need will never go away, and we shall be first there, and we shall be constantly improving. And that gave us an idea that you can build something that will stand for 30 or 40 years, and that's, in my mind, more interesting and more important for the community, because we are still employing a lot of good people here in Lund, or the Malmö, this region of the world, which of course I think is very important. I happen to live here. So I want to build big companies if I can, and then you have to have good technology, but also something that will last for at least 20 or 30 years, because otherwise you don't have the time to build a company. You will sell it after 4 or 5 years, and it will go away somewhere.
If you're not profitable, then it's an obvious problem. But even if you're profitable, you may when you grow quickly, then that becomes you get cash flow problems. Yeah. Which we did as well, because we were selling and developing and putting in people, but we had rather late payers, and we didn't get paid. We only got paid quarterly based on the sales of mobile phones where we were a part. So it was a license deal. So we got paid quarterly afterwards. So we knew that we were doing well. We knew that revenues were there, but the money was not in our account, which the bank somehow they don't enjoy that. So which was, but we got good support. We worked with Handelsbanken here at ideon. And started out first with factoring, simply because where we had, as soon as we got the invoice, we could then get the money into our account based on the invoice.
Not to stop the growth.
Not to stop the growth. So using the fact that we knew that we had money coming in. So that was a simple first move, which evened out a little bit. But then we also decided to get cash in. So to invite investors. It does not grow, and when I talk not grow, then it's like the 3, 4, 5%, which is how the economy grows. That is, to me, that is not growth, because you just grow with the economy. So with what I'm talking about is like 15, 20% growth. Then you're growing seriously. So how do you? The difference between managing a company that has to realize I'm on a market where I don't grow. This is but I have to get better, of course. Otherwise, you'll be thrown out, and I have to keep gaining slightly on market share, otherwise I would. How do I do that compared to how do I manage a company that is always going at a 15, 20, 25% rate? These are two different sciences. I have no idea how to do that. Never done it, haven't been close to it, don't know how to do it. But I can know something about that, but how to manage growth. It's easier in many ways, like riding a bicycle. It's also more difficult in other ways, of course. The important part is to realize that these are two different ways of doing it. And access management, I do not think they're capable of not growing, of running a company that doesn't grow. Everyone's capable of stopping growth and mismanaging so that you don't grow anymore. But I don't think they would be good at managing a company that does not grow, because it's a different science.